Hello students, today we are going to start with a new chapter of your supplementary reader, that is The Necklace, written by Guy de Maupassant. So before beginning this chapter, I would like to give you a brief introduction of this author, Guy de Maupassant. So I must tell you that this author, Guy de Maupassant's full name was Henry Rene Albert Guy de Maupassant, who was born on 5th August 1850 and lived up till 6th July 1893. He was a French writer and remembered as a master of the short story form and as a representative of the naturalist school of writers who depicted human lives and destinies and social forces in disillusioned and often pessimistic terms. He wrote some 300 short stories, 6 novels, 3 travel books, and 1 volume of verse. So, this was about the author. So, now let's move on to the chapter. So, before beginning, I would like to give you a brief introduction of this chapter and tell you what is it about and what is the story in it. So, in this chapter, the story revolves around a selfish lady named Matilda. She is unsatisfied with her life as she wants a rich husband, but because she belongs to a family of clerks and her family is unable to give dowry, she is married to a clerk. One day, both the husband and wife are invited to a party at the minister's house, but Matilda does not have good clothes and jewels to wear at such a party. So her husband suggests her to buy a dress and ask an old friend for jewelry. Then she borrows a necklace from her friend and goes to the party. What happens next proves to be a lesson for the unhappy lady. So now let's begin with the chapter. So the first paragraph says she was one of those pretty young ladies born as if through an error of destiny into a family of clerks. She had no dowry, no hopes, no means of becoming known, loved, and married by a man either rich or distinguished. And she allowed herself to marry a pretty clerk in the office of the Board of Education. She was simple, but she was unhappy. She suffered incessantly, feeling herself born for all delicacies and luxuries. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment, the shabby walls, and the worn chairs. All these things tortured and angered her. When she seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, who uncovered the tureen with a delighted air, saying, "Oh, the good pot pie! I know nothing better than that," she would think of elegant dinners of shining silver. She thought of the exquisite food served in marvelous dishes. She had neither frocks nor jewels, nothing, and she loved only those things. She had a rich friend, a schoolmate at the convent, who she did not like to visit. She suffered so much. When she returned, she wept for whole days from despair and disappointment. And one evening, her husband returned, elated, bearing in his hand a large envelope. Here he said, "Here is something for you." So, in these lines, the word error, it means a mistake. Clerk is a person employed in an office or bank to keep records, accounts, and undertake other routine administrative duties. Dowry is an amount of property or money brought by a bride to her husband on their marriage. Petty is of little importance or trivial. Incessantly means without interruption or constantly. Delicacies are the fineness of intricacy or texture or structure. Shabby means in poor condition through long use or lack of care. Tureen is a deep covered dish from which soup is served. Pot pie is a savory pie baked in a deep dish, typically with a top crust only. Elegant means graceful and stylish in appearance or manner. Exquisite is extremely beautiful and delicate. And marvelous means causing great wonder, or you can say extraordinary. Convent is a school attached to and run by a convent. Elated means to make someone ecstatically happy. So, in these lines, now Matilda Loisel was a pretty young lady who was born into a middle class family who worked as clerks, and her family did not have any means to arrange dowry for her marriage. She did not have any other means by which she could befriend a rich man to be loved or married to him. So, due to these circumstances, she had to marry a clerk in the office of the Board of Education, and because of this, she was unhappy. She used to think that destiny was unfair to her and that she deserved much better than what she had got. She used to get angry and was tortured by the condition of her apartment. The dirty walls and the torn furniture used to irritate her. She used to think about elegant dinners being served in marvelous dishes when her husband used to praise the home made food served in a simple dish. She did not have fancy jewels or good dresses. She had a school friend whom she did not like to meet as she was a rich lady. And after meeting her, she used to cry for days together, looking at the condition of her life. One day, her husband came back from work in a happy mood, holding an envelope in his hand, and he informed her that the envelope was for her and asked her to open it. Then, further, the next paragraph, she quickly drew out a printed card on which were inscribed these words: The Minister of Public Instruction and Madame George Ramponneau ask the honor of M and Mam Loisel's company Monday evening, January 8, at the minister's residence. Instead of being delighted as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation spitefully upon the table, murmuring, What do you suppose I want with that? But, my dearie, I thought it would make you happy. You never go out, and this is an occasion and a fine one. Everybody wishes one, and it is very select. Not many are given to employees. You will see the whole official world there. She looked at him with an irritated eye and declared impatiently, What do you suppose I have to wear to such a thing as that? He had not thought of that. He stammered, Why, the dress you wear when we go to the theatre. It seems very pretty to me. He was silent. Then, stupefied in dismay at the sight of his wife's weeping, he stammered, What is the matter? What is the matter? By a violent effort, she had controlled her vexation and responded in a calm voice, wiping her moist cheeks. Nothing, only I have no dress and consequently I cannot go to this affair. Give your card to some colleague whose wife is better fitted out than I. He was grieved but answered, Let us see, Matilda. How much would a suitable costume cost? Something that would serve for other occasions. So now in these lines, the word M means Mr. in French and MME means Mrs. in French. The word delighted means feeling or showing great pleasure. Spitefully means showing or caused by malice. Murmuring is a low or distinct continuous sound. Stammered means to speak with sudden, involuntary pauses and a tendency to repeat the initial letters of words. Stupefied means to make someone unable to think or feel properly. And dismay means concern and distress caused by something unexpected. Weeping means shedding tears. Vexation means the state of being annoyed, frustrated, or worried. Affair means an event or sequence of events of a specified kind or that has previously been referred to. Colleague means a person with whom one works in a profession or business. Grieved means to feel intense sorrow. Francs means the basic monetary unit of France, Belgium, Switzerland, Luxembourg, and several other countries. So, in these lines, it is said that Matilda, she quickly pulled out the printed card as she was excited to know what it was about. It was an invitation from the minister. The couple had been invited to a dinner party at the house of the Minister of Public Instructions. She was supposed to be delighted as M. Loisel expected, but M means Mr. Loisel expected, but she got really angry and threw the card while murmuring something. She asked her husband what did he want her to do with the card, and he replied that he had thought that she would be happy as she never went out and this was a rare occasion to which not many employees were invited. He also told her that she would be meeting a lot of people from his office there. Matilda asked him, what could she wear to such a grand party? Then he stammered, as he had not thought of that. He first asked her to wear the dress that she wore when they went out for movies. But then, as she was weeping, he asked her about the matter. She wiped her tears from her wet cheeks and replied calmly that she could not be a part of such grand affair and that she should give away the card to some other colleagues colleague whose wife was better than her, and he felt bad for his wife as he saw her crying and asked her the cost of a simple dress that could be worn by her on other occasions as well. And she thought of an amount that would neither be refused by him nor scare the poor clerk. Then she said that she would be able to manage a dress in 400 francs.